Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back again with episode 24 of Warren's Vlog. And tonight, I'm going to briefly review yesterday's episode of Monday Night Raw. But the majority of this video is going to be focused on my predictions for this Sunday's pay-per-view extravaganza, Money in the Bank. And they are calling this card WrestleMania worthy. Which, I mean, you got two matches like John Cena versus AJ Styles, which is arguably a dream match. You got Reigns versus Seth Rollins, which could arguably be a dream, one out of dream match, but a WrestleMania match. And then the Money in the Bank match itself is star-studded. But before we get to Money in the Bank and my predictions, I'm going to briefly go over Raw yesterday. For one, Monday Night Raw last night seemed kind of not off, but just it kind of seemed like certain segments were out of place. Like they ended Raw. I guess I'll work backwards. They ended Raw with Jericho and Ambrose with the inevitable chaos with everybody in the Money in the Bank getting involved. So we went off the air with Jericho standing tall to make us think that Jericho's gonna win, but we all know Jericho's not winning, right? Y'all know that, right? Okay, anyway. So that's how Raw ended. You would think with the way that Raw ended, you would think that the Money in the Bank is going to main event, or at least that's how they're presenting it to me. Because at 8 o'clock they had the New Day segment, which led into the 8-man tag, which as cheesy as that opening segment was with the New Day and Enzo and Cass, I couldn't help but to laugh. I tried to hate it, but I couldn't. So we had an 8-man tag that followed that. Because you know Monday Night Raw has to start with an opening segment every fucking episode. So then we go to the 9 o'clock segment, which was the Cena AJ Styles thing. Or no, I lied. The 9 o'clock segment was actually the Ambrose Asylum, which I expected the Ambrose Asylum to be higher up later in the show. But that was the 9 o'clock segment. Then the 10 o'clock segment was the John Cena AJ Styles contract signing, which actually didn't end with somebody going through a table. I know, right? Like, nobody went through a table during the contract signing. That's almost as unbelievable as WWE putting a wedding together that doesn't end in chaos. It's crazy. It's just crazy, man. So anyway, let's get to my predictions for Money in the Bank. Ziggler and Corbin. Now, we got two matches on the pre-show this Sunday. We got Ziggler and Corbin and Apollo Crews and Sheamus. I know I fell asleep at the very tail end of Monday Night Raw, like after the the last commercial break with Jericho and Ambrose. But I didn't see shit on Raw relating to Corbin and Ziggler, unless I missed something, or maybe they're gonna do something on SmackDown that's gonna set that up. But I was done with the Ziggler and Corbin angle the minute that Ziggler kicked Corbin in the balls. I thought that was the dumbest thing ever. Like, and what's even more infuriating about that is that the WWE made up. Well, this was the next week when they were highlighting it. The WWE came up with this beautiful, video package about how Ziggler was an amateur wrestler and how he went to Kent State, which is near where I live at, and did all this shit about him being an amateur wrestler. Then he goes and he kicks Corbin in the nuts. And I talked about this a couple episodes ago, and I was like, Ziggler is supposed to be the face, and he's kicking people in the nuts. Like, that's such a heel thing. I don't get it. So I guess they're having a match Sunday. I didn't know about it because they didn't announce it on Raw this Sunday or yesterday. But like I said, they might do something on SmackDown. Anyway, ever since WrestleMania, I have had high hopes for Corbin. And I want to say this again, and I want to be perfectly clear. It's not that I am a Baron Corbin fan. I'm actually impartial when it comes to Baron Corbin. I saw his work in NXT. I wasn't like overwhelmed, or I wasn't like, oh my god, this guy. He was cool in NXT. But when he won the Battle Royal, I thought, okay, well, maybe since he won the Battle Royal, the WWE will make me care about this guy. And not to my surprise, but still to my disappointment, the WWE has not done its job in making me get behind Baron Corbin, because he wins the Battle Royal, then he loses to Ziggler on the pre-show to Payback, and then he beats Ziggler at Extreme Rules. But the two common denominators in those two matches is that they were both on the pre-show, and this all stems back from him winning that godforsaken Battle Royal, because honestly, it does nothing. And I was hoping that they were gonna do something with it this year, and they didn't. So I didn't hold my breath. But anyway, because I don't think that they care about Corbin, I'm just gonna basically predict that Ziggler's gonna win, and then that's gonna end this rivalry. And hopefully Corbin can move on to something better. And Ziggler too, because I was actually surprised that Ziggler wasn't in the Money in the Bank. That kind of upset me. But anyway, Cesaro versus Sheamus. I'm sorry, I can't read my own writing. Apollo Crews versus Sheamus. This has actually been building for quite some time, and I think that it should be on the pay-per-view and not the main, I think it should be on the main show and not the pre-show. But at least we're getting the pre-show with some build-up. Sheamus has been, I guess, picking on the new era, trying to secure or keep his spot. And it's a good story. You know, Apollo Crews standing up to the big bully Sheamus. So I think they need to pull the trigger on really launching Crews. And having Crews defeat a former WWE champion would be the way to go on that, even if it is on the pre-show. Somebody's going to watch it. My throat's parched. Alright. So, I got the two pre-show matches out the way. Ziggler over, Crews over. Let's go to the Money in the Bank. Let's see, we got Cesaro, Zayn, Jericho, Kevin Owens. I hate multi-man matches because I always forget who's in them. But Alberto Del Rio and somebody else. But it doesn't matter because I'm picking. Well, let me get my emotional pick out of the way for this match. Because whenever there's a multi-man match, there's always a person who, in my heart, I want to win because I'm a mark. And then there's the realistic pick. So let me go with my marquee pick first. My marquee pick is Sami Zayn because I'm a mark. But if we're being realistic here, I think Kevin Owens is the way to go. I do like the Jericho tease because Jericho created the match and he's never won it. So I appreciate the Jericho tease. To be honest, really, with the exception of maybe Jericho and Del Rio, there really isn't a bad pick. I mean, Cesaro, Zayn, I mean, it's really not a bad pick there, in my opinion, with the four people remaining. You really got some decent people in this match that you can get four different results from. But, I mean, Del Rio and Jericho, I don't think need it. I mean, I think they're just putting Del Rio in this match just to give off the aura of, oh, Del Rio's won it before, so he can win it again. But no, I'm picking Kevin Owens. That's my official pick for that. But I'm still kind of leaning on Sami Zayn as well because maybe Kevin, or maybe I don't know. Just my heart wants Sami Zayn. That's just how it is. But I'm gonna go with Kevin Owens as the winner of the Money in the Bank. Styles versus Cena. This is an interesting one. Before I talk about AJ Styles and John Cena, I'm going to talk about the fact that John Cena has bodied AJ Styles on the mic for 2 straight weeks. I mean, bodied AJ Styles. And as much as I like AJ Styles, I hate to admit that, but AJ is just not good on the mic. I don't know whether it's his southern accent or what it is, but he's just not good on the mic. Like Cena 2 weeks ago killed him. I mean, murdered him with something about a golf clap. And I'm not a Cena fan. I don't. I'm not as vicious as the IWC is when it comes to John Cena and Roman Reigns. But I'm certainly not one of John Cena's supporters. But I've always said that John Cena knows his way around the microphone. I mean, Cena has held his own against the great. Cena has held his own against some of the best mic men in the business. Cena has held his own against Paul Heyman. Cena has held his own against CM Punk. Cena has held his own against The Rock. Okay, and Cena has held his own. So, and you know what? I'm not turning this into a shit on AJ fest because okay, AJ's not the best on the mic, but he doesn't need to be, and neither does Roman Reigns. But it does help your case. And I didn't really like what AJ said on Raw yesterday because he said, if I was in the WWE 15 years ago, you wouldn't have all those titles and you wouldn't have this and I'd be this and I'd be in movies and I'd be in that. It's easy to say what you would do if you were there, but you weren't. You know, I mean, and maybe AJ might have been the new John. Maybe AJ would have been the face of the company by now. Maybe AJ would have had all that success that John Cena has had in the WWE if AJ was there. But that's all speculation. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not shitting on AJ Styles. I'm not shitting on his talent. The man is very talented. You know, but when it comes to mic skills, Cena was more convincing to me, which is why I think Cena's gonna win. But hold on. I know all the AJ Styles fans are gonna try and hunt me down and shoot me, but just hear me out. I think Cena goes over via DQ. I think that even though AJ Styles signed the contract to have the club banned from ring or just make it so it's just AJ Styles versus John Cena, I still think that the club gets involved. Either that or AJ hits him with a low blow. I think AJ gets disqualified and Cena goes over. Either way, I think AJ is going to be standing over John Cena when that match is over. And also, as big of a pay-per-view as this is, there's no way we're going to have a clean finish. I mean, I think they're going to extend this shit at least till SummerSlam. And let's see, we got Money in the Bank. Yeah, that's it. We got Money in the Bank. I think maybe Battleground. And then there's the brand split after that, which I'm going to be covering the brand split in my future videos. My predictions, my thoughts about it. That's to come. But I think we got Money in the Bank Sunday, Battleground, and then SummerSlam. I think they can really get some mileage out of this if they make it go till SummerSlam, which is my prediction. So, no clean finish here. Cena gets disqualified. Or AJ gets disqualified. And Cena goes over by way of DQ. That's some good ass lemonade. We got a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Enzo and Cass versus, man, I hate multi-man matches. I always forget. The Vaudevillains and the New Day. I find the New Day to be entertaining still, but it's a bigger part of me that's getting tired of the New Day. Like, I'm starting to grow tired of them, and I think that now is the time to pull the trigger on their title reign and give it to Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. I mean, they stood tall on Raw, which WWE logic dictates. If you stand tall on Raw, you usually lose at the pay-per-view. But I'm about to go back on that. I'm sticking with the club. They're winning the tag title Sunday. As far as who they pin, I don't know. It's a fatal 4-way. That's way too hard to predict because these matches are so confusing. You can tag anybody in that you want that don't gotta be your partner, but you can't tag your partner and pin your partner because that's the outlaw rule, I guess. Something like that. I hate fatal 4-way tag team matches. I think they're just... And, I mean, why not make it interesting? Make it a ladder match. I mean, somebody on Yes Wrestling, which I'm an admin of, by the way. Somebody on Yes Wrestling was like, this should be a tables, ladders, and chairs match. And then I think it might have been me that said wrong pay-per-view. Just being an asshole. Joking, of course. But, I mean, you could do something with it. You can have a ladder match. I don't think that'd be a big deal. I mean, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins had a ladder match at Money in the Bank last year for the WWE title, so fuck it, why not? Oh, Dean Ambrose was the sixth man that I forgot in that Money in the Bank. Sorry, Dean, but you have been forgotten. But yeah, and I'm gonna talk about the possibility of Dean Ambrose winning the Money in the Bank when I get to the main event. Rusev versus Titus O'Neil. This has had some build-up. Although they didn't really explain much of why 3 weeks ago Titus O'Neil just decided to come out and get in Rusev's face and beat the shit out of him. I mean, they explained it, but it was just such a dry explanation. Like, you're not an American hero. And and I'm Titus O'Neil. And and that's basically it. And the problem I have with this is that it's the same Rusev storyline that we've seen before. Rusev is the U.S. champion, and then some American steps up and says, you're not an American hero, and I'm going to try to beat you, and then they lose. Like, we've seen this before. So, Rusev over with the accolade. Take the fish. That's for you, Rick Berlin. Rick Baylin is a friend of mine. He's an admin over on Yes Wrestling down from New Orleans, and we have an inside joke about Rusev taking the fish that he'll enjoy. So, Rick, if you see this particular segment is for you. Because take the fish. Take the fish. Alright. Diva Tag Team match. Why the fuck is Charlotte not defending her title? Why? Somebody tell me why Charlotte gets to get away with just having a tag match at the fucking pay-per-view and not defending her title. This is a bullshit. What it is, and I'm going to tell you what it is. And y'all know how I feel about Charlotte. And I ain't going to spend half the video bitching about her, although I could. I'm going to make a Charlotte hate video. That might be my next episode. But no, they're going to extend this bitch's title reign for absolutely no reason. But if they do it, I hope that they extend it long enough for Sasha Banks to beat her at SummerSlam. Or fuck it, Battleground. I'm tired of Charlotte. I really am. And am I the only one that realizes that Paige has had like 2 victories over Charlotte in the past 2 months, just randomly on Raw? Like, are they gonna do something with that? Like, is Paige gonna get involved? Is Paige gonna get involved Sunday? Is Paige gonna become the number 1 contender? Maybe at Battleground? Like, you have someone. This is how screwed up the WWE booking is. You have someone who is not even booked on the pay-per-view to beat the champion on the Go Home Raw. What sense does that make unless Paige is going to wrestle at the pay-per-view? Why? And it's almost like now I got to protect Charlotte, which I don't want to do. But it's like, it just does not make sense unless, are you going to go somewhere with Paige? Or did you just use Paige to get a victory because Dana Brooke inadvertently cost her match? I didn't even write a prediction for that because I really don't care. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to circle in Becky Lynch and Natalya. Only because I don't think that Natalya is going to get another title shot anyway. So you might as well just let Natalya and Becky Lynch just win and end the rivalry. And then maybe Paige can come out and give her the Rampage or something and declare her number 1 contender seat, if that's a word, for the title at a later date. I don't know. Yeah. Main event time. Reigns over. Because, believe that. No. I think Reigns is going to go over. And the reason why I think Reigns is going to go over is because I think they have another direction for Seth Rollins. Because Seth Rollins dropped Triple H's name on Raw in the Ambrose Asylum. And basically talking about how Reigns earned it by, going through the authority, beating Dean Ambrose at Survivor Series, then going through the authority, Well, going through the authority to get the Dean Ambrose to Survivor Series, then going through Sheamus, and then going through Triple H. And I think the fact that Rollins dropped Triple H's name is a hint. And also, if you remember, when Seth Rollins made his return, Stephanie McMahon said, our relationship is not the same as it was. So those are two hints that make me believe that they're going to go with Seth Rollins versus Triple H, maybe at Battleground or maybe at SummerSlam. So I think, given that logic, I think Reigns is going to go over. I like the fact that they tease Ambrose winning Money in the Bank. I think if Ambrose wins Money in the Bank, that could change everything. It's so many different possibilities with Money in the Bank. That's why I said with those four people, Ambrose, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and who's the other? With the exception of Jericho and Del Rio, Owens. So Owens, Cesaro, Zayn, Ambrose. You really can't go wrong with those four winning the Money in the Bank. I'm not reneging on Kevin Owens though. So real quick, I'm about to go through my picks one more time so y'all got this shit down pat. Ziggler over Corbin, Cruz over Sheamus, Kevin Owens winning the Money in the Bank, Cena over via disqualification from AJ Styles. The Club is winning the tag titles. Rusev is beating Titus because take the fish. Becky Lynch and Natalya over, and then Reigns over. So those are my predictions. Will they come true? Well, I guess you'll just have to watch this Sunday and find out. Only on the WWE Network. And hey, it's Money in the Bank season, so I'm going to be reviewing another Money in the Bank pay-per-view. That's going to be my next episode. If I don't get to it before the pay-per-view Sunday. Because if I get to it before the pay-per-view Sunday, then the pay-per-view review will be my next episode. But I'm going to review, hopefully sometime this week before the weekend, I'm going to review Money in the Bank 2013 because I was there. And it was awesome. Well, some parts was. But anyway, I'm Warren Freeman. This has been episode 24. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be seeing you guys very soon. I'm out.